So uh, so um, so I think this topic will be greatly useful to you. As you know, according to the discipline of participating students, I divided this section into three categories, and you are now in the physical sciences and technology related section. So today, our resource person is Dr. Untitled Chapter. He's presently working as a senior lecturer at the Department of Physics, University of Chapter. Dr. Untitled Chapter did his undergraduate degree in Electronics and Communication Engineering in Anna University, Chennai, and he did MSc in Telecommunication in United Kingdom, and he got his PhD from Victoria University of Wellington, New Zealand, and he has published several abstracts and research articles, so he has a very good experience in writing research articles. So today he's going to share his experience with us. Yes, I think it's going to be very useful to you. Dr. Untitled Chapter, it's our great pleasure to have you in this session. Over to you, Dr. Untitled Chapter.
Thank you, Dr. Christy J. Seelan, and good morning to all of you. So, shall we start? No, sir.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay. So I can share my slides and I start recording it. So, right. So, can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. So, good morning, all of you. Today, actually, I am going to share my experience on writing abstract. Actually, I was planning to cover the whole paper writing section, but later I realized within 1 hour 50 minutes, I can effectively deliver what I have gathered about the knowledge, what I have gathered about writing a good abstract during my PhD and research career in the past 5-6 years. So I'm going to brief, or I'm going to say, or we are going to see an abstract word by word, or what we have to write and what we not to write in an abstract. Right. So yeah, abstract is actually the main part of any research publication. If it is a conference paper or a research paper, right, it will be like a trailer of a movie, right? It should be very attractive. So these are some of the main reasons why we should care about the abstract, right? So the main reason is, if you have internet, you can read almost every single paper published in the world, right? You can read the abstracts of every single paper published in almost every journal, including Nature and Science, right? So abstracts are freely available, but the full papers are not, right? So you have to pay attention while you are writing the abstract. Also, right, most of the researchers, right, when we are citing papers or when we are looking facts and evidences, right, sometimes if I cite a few papers, most of the papers, we used to read the abstract only, right? So we will get the information from the paper, from the abstract, and then no need to read that one, right? So most of the people will read your abstract, but not your full paper or full article. So you have to put extra attention on writing the abstract. It also affects the search results, right? That is obvious, right? Whenever people are searching with some keywords, right? It will bring your abstract, and then an accidental reader can be attracted by your abstract, and he or she will try to read your full paper. And mostly the abstract will influence the editor and reviewer, right? Most of the editors, especially editors, right? When you are submitting a paper to a journal, the editors will only go through the abstract, right? If the editor finds it as a good paper, well-written abstract, he will immediately go for reviewers, right? And then again, in the case of reviewers, the first thing a reviewer reads when he or she reviewing a paper is also the abstract, right? So the abstract influences both the editor and reviewer, right? And finally, as I said earlier, it will be like a movie trailer, right? It will be like a movie trailer. So it will encourage people to read your paper or not. Sometimes if it is a badly written abstract, he will never go through your paper, right? So for these reasons, you have to pay special attention on while you are writing your abstracts, right? Let's see what are the purposes, right? The purpose of abstract is to bring the attention of the reader and motivate them to read the whole paper, right? The abstract or the trailer of the movie, right? The purpose of a movie trailer is to attract the viewer to watch the whole movie, right? That is what we are doing here, right? An abstract has to attract its reader, and it has to finally bring him or her to read the whole paper, right? And then, as I said earlier, sometimes most of the people will cite your paper by only reading the abstract. They will not go through your whole paper unless it is necessary, right? And then, as I said earlier, again, a compelling writing style is the first step in that direction, because a well-written paper is more likely to have a large readership, right? So now we'll go to the anatomy of the abstract, right? We'll go sentence by sentence. We'll go how to write every sentence of an abstract, right? So for your understanding, I divided the abstract into two, right? One is conference paper abstract or conference abstract. The other one is journal abstracts, right? So I'll tell you the differences, right? So a journal abstract and conference abstract, right? A conference abstract will be published in a conference proceeding. Most of the times they will print the abstract only, right? But a journal paper abstract will be followed by a full paper after the abstract, right? There is a huge difference between these two, right? When you are writing a conference abstract, you have to pay different things. You have to, yes, BT0139. Okay, I think I can attend you a question at the end of my presentation, right? If you cannot do anything, I can attend the questions, or we can have a good discussion after the presentation, right? Or, as I said, the conference abstract must have.
Definitely, she will start maybe with 5 minutes or something. Please wait until then.
Hello?
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Right. So we'll see how we can write a conference paper abstract and journal paper abstract, right? So here I have two examples, right? A conference abstract and a paper abstract, right? So this is an abstract of my work which we published in a journal. Right, look at here. We immediately started what we did. Right, insect odor and receptor have been reconstituted into lipid nanodiscs and tethered onto the carbon nanotube field effect transistors. Right, this is what I did. There are no introduction part, nothing. Why? Of course, it is not necessary because, yeah, we have a full paper which contains every detail after the abstract, right? So we need to encourage the reader to go through this one, right? The reader has to, or reader will be encouraged. Yeah, these guys have made this one and they have fabricated the devices. So I have to read the whole paper, right? He will be, yeah, encouraged to go through the full paper, right? But at the same time, in a conference paper or conference abstract, you will publish the abstract only. It doesn't have any extra data unless otherwise they are printing the extended abstract of your conference work, right? Most of the time in Sri Lanka, the conference organizers are asking the extended abstract for reviewing purpose only, right? They are not asking your extended abstract for publishing, right? Only the abstract what you have sent to them will be published in the conference proceeding. Okay, right? So this is the difference, right? So here immediately see we reconstitute the proteins into nanodiscs, but here in a conference abstract, look at here, we have one more extra paragraph which introduces on which field you are working and what are the research questions, right? And then in the second paragraph only, I am going into the results. This is actually the same paper, right? These two are same work, but this is published as a conference paper. This is published as a whole research article, right? So here I started immediately from here, right? We purified the OR10A and reconstituted into nanodiscs. But when we are publishing it as a conference paper, we need to add an introduction, right? Because we know who are going to read the papers which I published in this journal, right? If I am publishing a paper in a journal, I know only people who have knowledge in that area going to watch that one, right? But when compared to journals, the conference proceedings have a broader readership, right? Broader readership. It may attract people from other areas or other fields, right? Sometimes in a scientific conference, biologist, physicist, chemist, right? So it will attract a bit broader readership when compared to the journals, right? That's why we need to pay attention on this introductory paragraph or introductory part, right? So we'll go in detail or to the anatomy of an abstract, right? So it's a good say by Professor Nick Hobwood, who I attended a workshop on writing an abstract, which is conducted by him, which was really nice, right? Most of the material I'm using here and from his presentation to us, right? If you find writing an abstract easy, then you are not writing a good abstracts, right? Writing an abstract is the most difficult part in writing a research paper. Clear, right? So most of the time you have to write the abstract. If you are writing for a paper, you have to write the abstract after writing the whole paper, introduction, methodology, results and discussion and things, right? At the last only you have to write the abstract, right? So abstracts are intrinsically hard, dense text, right? So you are going to have a 10-page paper and this one paragraph must summarize the whole 10-page paper into a few sentences, right? It is really dense and hard. but it has to be easy and clear for the readers, right? If it is hard and dense for the reader, then it is not a good abstract, right? It has to be easily understandable by the readers. Okay, for that, these are the 4 steps, right? First, capture your argument, right? You have to know what you are going to write in your abstract. Make your work sound important and distinctive, right? It's your responsibility to say the audience that your paper is an important work in that area and distinctive from all other works, right? This is really important when you are writing a conference abstract, right? Yeah, persuade others, it is robust, and then finally set up expectations as a movie trailer did, right? You have to create expectations in the abstract, right? So this is how we are going to go. Hereafter we'll see how we can divide the abstract, right? Yeah, in nature, yeah, they are summary, right? Nature summaries. In the journal, they have nature summary paragraphs which has 5 parts, but I divided an abstract into 4 different parts based on Professor Nick Hopwood's presentation to us at Victoria University of Wellington. Right. First, you need to locate. You need to locate, right? So on which field you are going to work, right? For example, if it is renewable energy or pest control or synthesizing a new molecules or using machine learning in solving some physical issues, right? You need to locate what you are going to do, right? In which field you are going to do, and then focus, right? Focus the main research problem, what you are going to address in your research work, right? Identify the particular questions or issues or kind of problems that the paper explore or examine. Clear? And then report, right? In this part only, you are going to report your results or your major findings. And if you did some unique methods, or if you create some unique methods to solve the problem, outline the method, right? And then consent. Finally, you need to argue that, right? You need to argue, right? Indicate the point of view and return to the locate and answer the question, right? So after reporting, you need to answer the question what you raised at focus. Clear? Right. Now we'll see one by one, right? We'll see one by one. First, locate, right? You can write either 2 or 3 sentences, right? It depends on the word limit of what you have asked, right? Most of the conference, they are asking about sometimes, yeah, they have a word limit, right? Even journals, they have word limits, right? So first go through the word limits, and based on that, you can decide whether you need 2 sentences or 3 sentences to locate your research, right? So the first one should be the basic introduction to the field and accessible to the scientist of any discipline, right? It should be very simple word, right? If you are working on renewable energy, or if you are working on new material to the renewable energy, just the first word should be kind of what you are going, or in which field this abstract has to be located, right? The second one should be the background of the research question. Remember, it is not the research question, but the background of the research question, right? I'll tell you this with an example after explaining this one, right? First sentence must be on your field, right? If you are working on renewable energy, first sentence must be, you have to say something on renewable energy, and then the background of the research question. But remember, you can write either 1 or 2 sentences, right? Not 2 paragraphs, right? So to locate, you can use 2 to 3 sentences. Don't go more than that, right? Don't go for more sentences. Then focus. Again, to focus or to explain your question, you can use maximum of 2 sentences. Don't go for more than 2 sentences, right? If you go in detail, then it will be kind of an introduction and not an abstract, right? So in this section, in focus section, you have to explain what is missing or what is unknown or what is problematic in your research, in the area. Earlier, you have said the background, right? This is the background, and now you need to say what are the missing or unknown or problematic area, right? Typically, this sentence start with however, like, right? So in the previous sentence, you will locate the research question, right? And then you will say, however, this is unknown, or however, this part of the field is not studied yet, right? So typically, this sentence starts with however, but that is not must, right? That is not must, right? However, this is the problem, and the next sentence must be a summary of what you are doing. Again, this will reflect the title of your paper. The second sentence of the focus must reflect the title of your paper, right? So you have already said where you are going to work and why you are going to work. And this is why you are going to work means there is a gap. And now you have to say, right, this is what we did. Here we show, or it has to start with here we show. In this work, you did some study, right? You did some experimental study, or you did some survey to explore the problem, or you did some literature survey to analyze the problem, right? The second sentence in the focus section must be, yeah, on the summary which reflects the title of your abstract. Clear, right? So 2 to 3 sentences, and then focus 2 sentences. Now report. This is the core part. I put 3 to 6, but always try to use 3 sentences, right? Don't go more than 3 sentences to report the key results of your findings, right? Again, in this field, in this section or report section, summarize the most important findings, right? Don't try to explain everything what you got from the survey, right? You will have thousands of data. Don't try to summarize all the data in the abstract, right? You can do that one in the results and discussion section of the paper, or you can do that one during your presentation. Here, you need to summarize the most important finding of the data. Again, this will be, or this must be reflected on your title. Okay, so this is what we did. We found a new molecule. We analyzed the data in a better way than the earliest methods did, right? Or we found a good solution, right, which is better than the previous ones, right? Why you are writing reports? Unless the method is new, right? Unless the method is new, no need to include the details in the abstract, right? Sometimes if you use a very ordinary method, right? If you have used a questionnaire to get the data collection, right? It is not new. It's not a new method, right? No need to say that, right? I collected data from these many people, No, right? Unless it is new, don't state anything about the method in the abstract, right? If you mentioned, right, if you really want to mention, for example, if you are doing an experimental research, right, if you are using XRD or a PSCM, you can use like this, right? Using a PSCM, we show that, then your findings, right? Just 2 letters enough to describe your method. Using XRD, we confirm the presence of this phase. Using a PSCM, we confirm the surface morphology of this one, right? Just 2 words are enough, right? So in the report part will be the core of your abstract. Again, my advice is not to go for more than 3 sentences, but you can go up to 6 sentences if it allows, right? If the word limit allows you to go, right? This will be the core part of your abstract. Finally, argue, right? This is also an important part of an abstract, right? So you have earlier, you have said in which field you are going to work and why you are going to work, and later you have explained how you worked, and these was your findings. Now you need to argue the findings, or you need to correlate your findings with the research question. Can you understand what I'm saying, right? So you have some findings, and those findings has to be correlated with the research question, right? So this was my problem, this was my main data, and this answers the research question in this way, right? You need to argue your work, right? Some explanation on how you're finding advance the field, right? So which means how your work answered the particular research question. Where does your research work lead, and what are the immediate implications, right? So you can say about, if possible, you can add a sentence on what are the implications on your work as well, right? So you need to have maximum of 1 or 2 sentences, but all of these things depends on the word limit. So as I said earlier, if you want to write a good abstract, my advice is have first 2 sentences to locate your research area and background, and the other 2 sentences to say your research question and gap in the literature, and to summarize your work, and then another 3 sentences to describe your results. Finally, 1 or 2 sentences to argue your results, or to correlate your findings with the existing research question, what you have written in the focus part, right? What you have written in the focus part, right? So I would say this is the brief of or this is the anatomy of a good abstract. Now, this is an abstract published in Nature, right? This is an abstract published in Nature, recent issue of Nature, right? Sorry, I missed that reference. I have to add that. I'll show you at the end of my presentation, right? So this is a whole abstract, right? This is a whole abstract, right? Look at here, how many sentences it has, right? I make them into different colors, right? Can you see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentences. 6 sentences, right? Okay, now while you are reading, okay, I'll give you 2 minutes. Go through the text and just answer me whether you can able to find where they said the main area, and where they focus to it, and where they have summarized their results, and where they have argued their results. Can you do that one quickly? I'll give you 2 minutes. Right, read the text and tell me. All right, so the first read sentence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So which one is locate and which one is focus, which one is summarize and which one is argue. Yeah, go through quickly. Someone, if you can, just unmute yourself and speak, right? Hello. Okay, so I think nobody ready, so we can go for that one, right? I'll just explain the things, right? So look at here, the global terrestrial carbon sink is increasing, offsetting roughly a third of anthropogenic CO2 release into the atmosphere each decade, and thus serving to slow the growth of atmospheric CO2. Right here is what they are introducing the question, right? So I would say this is the locate, right? They have used only, and the second one, it has been suggested that CO2 induced long-term increase in global photosynthesis, a process known as CO2 fertilization, is responsible for a large proportion of the current terrestrial carbon sink, right? So this will be the background of your research question, right? This is locate, and this is the first sentence of focus, right? It has been suggested that, right? It is already said, right? So this says the present status of that research, right? The third one is the second sentence of focus. The estimated magnitude of the historic increase in photosynthesis as a result, right? This will be the second sentence of focus. And the third one, as I said, this should reflect the title of your research, right? Here we quantify. Look at here what we did, right? In the focus second sentence, here we show, here we prove, here we explain, or whatever, right? So they used almost the same sentence. Here we quantify, right, the historic effect. And then they used only one sentence to summarize their results. Remember, this paper is published in Nature, right, which is one of the prestigious journal in the world, right? So they didn't put almost every single data, right? They add their important finding, right? Our analysis suggests that CO2 fertilization increased global annual photosynthesis by 11.85% or 13.98% petagrams carbon, right, between 81 and 2020, right? So they did an analysis, right? So here they didn't talk about the method, anything, right? They have summarized the results only, right? If you really want to know the analysis method, just go through the paper. That's all, right? Finally, they argued or they correlate their findings with the question they raised in the third line. Clear. Our results help resolve conflicting estimates of the historic sensitivity of global photosynthesis to CO2 and highlight the large impact of anthropogenic emission have had on ecosystem worldwide. Right? See, this abstract just has 6 lines, right? And then the whole 6 line will be expanded as a whole paper. Clear, right? So hope you can easily follow the structure, right? Locate, L, focus, F, report, R, and then argue A, LFRA, right? So my advice is to go for 1 or 2 sentences to locate, 2 sentences to focus, 3 sentences to report, and 1 sentence to 1 or 2 sentences to argue. Again, you need to refer the instructions to have an idea on your word limit, right? Word limit. For example, yeah, the nature communications, they need abstract within 150 words. For Journal of National Science Foundation, you need to write an abstract with 200 to 250. They will not allow any abstract below 200 words or above 250 words, right? So you need to go through those things first, and then you can start your abstract writing, right? Hope you will understand the structure from this one. Yeah, this is the article, right, which is published 2 days before in Nature, right? A constraint on historic growth in global photosynthesis due to increasing CO2, right? Published in Nature, right? So yeah, these are the summary, right? This is the summary. Before you start writing the abstract, ask what I'm trying to say. When you finish writing your abstract, ask, have I said what I'm going to say? Right? So if you answer these 2 questions, definitely you will have a very nice abstract. Clear, right? So yeah, so these are the reference I have used, and yeah, Professor Nick Hopwood's presentation, and I have gone through the how to construct a Nature summary paragraph at Nature Publishers. Okay, so thank you, and I'm happy to answer your questions, right? If you have any questions, please ask me. We can spend that one effectively on writing an abstract. Right? Please feel free to ask your questions. Somebody was raising your hands while I am presenting, so you can ask your question now. I'm happy to answer.
Yes, students, this is a very good chance you make clear if you have any doubts related to writing abstracts or research articles. I think many of you, this is the first workshop or talk related to this aspect. If you have any doubts, you can ask, or you can type in the chat box. Yes, Dr. Tania Chelman, the participant, even yesterday also, the participants are reluctant to ask any question.
So yeah, feel free to ask your question, right? So here, my aim was to make yourself to write an abstract by yourself, right? So that's why I go sentence by sentence, right? What you have to write in the first sentence, second sentence, third sentence, fourth sentence, right? Fifth sentence, and finally you can construct a good abstract on your own, right? So this is the summary. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to ask. Please feel free to ask, right? Unless asking questions and clearing your doubts, I don't think you can go to the next step, or you can work on your own. I don't know why you are not ready to ask me questions, right? If you ask me the question, then only it will create a discussion, right? Without discussion, the session will be just useless, right? Any session could create should create a discussion. Otherwise, the session is useless. So please feel free to ask any questions. I'm happy to answer.
Yes, Dr. Kanigachelvan, since there's no more questions, I think, yes, this is the time to thanks for delivering a wonderful, highly useful presentation on this aspect. Yes, and we appreciate on behalf of the Jaffna Science Association, we appreciate your support the workshop, and also thank the participants to attend to this session. Yes, the next topic is presenting your work in a public forum. So another Zoom link I have already provided to you. So that session starts by 10:15. So you can join in that. So once again, thank you very much for. So Dr. Kanigachelvan, shall we wind up the session then?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the participants. And if you really have any questions, please feel free to contact me at any time, right? I'll be at the Department of Physics. Yeah, you can come and meet me anytime, right? So if you want to do if you need any help on writing your abstract, I'm ready to help you, right? So I'll be at Department of Physics. Feel free to come and meet me with your writings. I'm happy to proofread, or I'm happy to help you on restructuring or guiding you to write a good abstract. All of you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity also. Dr. Christy Cecilan. Thank you.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, it's a good opportunity to meet the students. Thank you for you, and thank you for the Jaffna Science Association. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. Huh?
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Students, any questions?
No, sir. We also understand clearly, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. So we can leave, right? I'll end the meeting. So yeah, you can join the other sessions. Thank you.